रागद्वेषवियुक्तैस्तु विषयान् इन्द्रियैश्चरन् आत्मवश्यैर्विधेयात्मा प्रसादमधिगच्छति प्रसादे सर्वदुःखानां हानिरस्योपजायते प्रसन्नचेतसो ह्याशु बुद्धिपर्यवतिष्ठते.
Ragadvesha viyuktaistu. Let's first focus on the word tu. Tu means but. And what it implies here is, Vyasa is such an amazing poet, Veda Vyasa. He is connecting this verse with the previous verse. Especially for people like us who take a week's break and come back. We need to connect to the previous verse. So, but is connecting to the previous verse. Meaning, in the previous verse, in the earlier verse and couple of verses before this, the person who was being referred to was a person who is associated with Ragadvesha. In fact, even God, Sri Krishna, God, Bhagavan answers Arjuna. Arjuna asks, what are the qualities? And Bhagavan answers, what should not be the qualities? So, the person that is being referred to is a person who has Raga and Dvesha. Here, this person, but this person is free of Raga Dvesha. And free of Raga Dvesha means what? Raga Dvesha. Raga means attraction. Dvesha means repulsion. Likes and dislikes. So this person, but now let's talk about the person who is free of attraction and repulsion. And that person what? When what? When that person is moving amongst Raga Dvesha Charan. Among the Vishayas, among the objects. When the person without attachment, without likes and dislikes, is moving among the objects, in the object world. So we often say that sannyasa means withdraw, go away, do not be involved. That's not true. When this person is moving in the object world, when this person is interacting, at that time, his senses, indriyaha, his senses, atma vaishyahi. Atma vaishyahi means under control. Self-controlled, restrained, mastered. The senses are restrained. Videyatma. With focused mind and intellect, this self-controlled person then adhigacchati, attains. And attains what? Prasadam. Prasadam means equipoise, peace, calm. So the mind and intellect here is also implied to be pure. As we saw earlier, the mind has impurities. Remember the Shad Ripus, right? The impurities. So what are these impurities? These are nothing but disturbances in the mind. And when these disturbances go away, when the mind is without any disturbances, when the mind intellect instrument does not have any disturbances, no ripples, then it is pure. And purity and serenity go together. So this self-controlled person, serene, moving amongst the objects, moving in the sensual world of senses, but with her senses under control, free from both attraction and repulsion, that person attains equipoise. So I'm sure most of us, the example that I would like to give here is, most of us, especially people who run, and also people who walk, we would have experienced the immense tranquility when we go for our walk or run, at least once in a while, when suddenly, and it happens pretty suddenly. And when that tranquility comes, when it happens, we are running, let's say in this case we are running, suddenly the scenery appears very pleasing to the eyes. Okay, suddenly the sound of the waves, let us say we are running next to the ocean, the sound of the waves crashing into the beach, that appears extremely like pleasing music to our ears. The sweet fragrance of flowers that may be there, that waft into our nose. We take a sip of the water, plain water that we are carrying along, and that, to the tongue, it tastes like amrit, tastes like, divinity. And the soft breeze that is blowing, it's caressing our skin, and the touch of it feels amazing. So all of that happens suddenly, And then what happens? Our walk or a run or whatever we are doing, it just becomes exhilarating. We are actually physically straining ourselves, but we love it. We are enjoying it. And I gave the example of marathon runners in some other context, but even here, sometimes you run 30 kilometers, but somehow suddenly everything is exhilarating. The run is beautiful, you're enjoying. And how are we doing that? Through our senses. But where is our mind? It's tranquil. It is in an exhilarated state of, being calm, at peace. Beautiful dichotomy, right? A fantastic dichotomy. So essentially the sense organs are not impediments. They are actually can become instruments for transcendental experience. It's up to us. How do we learn? How do we master this art of converting our sense organs to become instruments that enable transcendental experience? And a lot of these examples that we have talked about, a lot of the examples that I've touched upon, show that if it can happen in one situation in our life, if we have experienced it, if we know about it, if we relate to it, then why can't it happen again and again and again? All we have to do is remember to make it happen again and again. If we do that, it does happen. Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, it is said that, he used to use his senses like these amazing tools, equipment, and to do what? To get into his trance. Very accomplished Mahatma, right? And while experiencing all the various offerings that life has to give, he used to, the sight of this green expanse, the verdure, that would take him into a trance. The touch of a wind when he's walking will take him into a trance. The singing of the Lord's name as part of a bhajan will take him into a trance. The smell of incense sticks that is used during puja, that used to take him into trance. The taste of prasada after puja, the prasada that you get, that also used to take him to that. All these, would have that effect on him. So essentially the senses served as gateways for him, for that getting out of the phenomena to the noumena. That is the beauty. And then this prasad, here we refer to two prasad. We just talked about the prasada, or the, the offering that comes and we taste it or eat it after the puja. But the prasad that we are talking about, the meaning of prasad here is equanimity. So thus in equanimity, in the state of exhilaration, in the state of transcending beyond the senses, where the senses are used to go beyond the senses themselves, and you are in serenity, thus serene, prasade. So we have gone to the next verse, 65, okay, prasade. So thus in equanimity, thus serene, hanihi asya. Hanihi asya means destruction of his. Destruction of his what? Sarva dukkhanam, all his sorrows. This is actually beautiful. No? When you are running a marathon and you have crossed 30-35 kilometers, it could be a painful process. Like I described to you the other day, when you're doing these long route marches or running long distances, sometimes there is discomfort, you're tired, you're exhausted, energy is kind of sapped away. Maybe there is a sprain, there is, the muscles are tired, they've been overexerted. Running 30-40 kilometers is not a joke. But what? If you have that equanimity, all of those sorrows are destroyed. They are hani asya. Upajayate, the destruction happens. Hyasu means because. Because for being in tranquility, that means prasanna chetaso. Prasanna chetaso means being in tranquility. The buddhihi, the mind intellect instrument of this person, becomes established. Becomes established is implied by the word paryavatishtate, becomes established. So when purity and serenity is there, the wisdom becomes firm. And when wisdom becomes firm, all sorrows are destroyed. That is what happens when you are able to control your mind, master your mind.